Let's unlock the profit potential with last week's trades, and let's have a look at what's happening with next week's trades and try and make you profitable. Let's make some money in the stock market. Today I'm going to show you the charts, and I'm going to show you what's been happening in the last week, what's going to be happening next week. I've been doing this for 30 years. This is not new to me, so this is something that you might want to watch with me. Last week we had the news. The news came out about the interest rate cut, the 50 basis point cut in the USA, which is a fancy way of saying 0.5%, and perhaps you got caught up in that. Perhaps that kept you sort of stuck in there and you got all caught up and you got stop losses taken out and all the rest of it. So let's talk about that. Let's see what you can do to prevent that from happening to you next time there's a fancy news event like that. But we'll talk to you about that after we've looked at the charts and after we've looked at what's happened last week and what's happening next week. We'll check it out and we'll see how you can get around not getting taken out of the trades every time there's a big news event that comes around, especially if you're trading Forex, especially if you're trading currency pairs. Guys, don't forget, trading is risky. 80% of traders do lose money, and if you don't like risk and you don't like losing money, you probably shouldn't be trading. After we've been to the charts, I'll also show you your free gift, and you can go and pick it up. And also we'll talk about the trade of the day and that type of stuff that we deal with on a regular basis. Let's go and have a look at the charts. Let's go and see how you can be profitable in the week to come. Let's have a look at last week's trades and unlock some profit potential. Let's have a look at next week's trades and see what we've got. Just remember, guys, I'm recording this on Friday, so don't expect everything to be on Saturday's prices, although this is coming out to you on the weekend. I'm just going over the trades for the last week, what happened in the last week and what's going to happen next week. Now, we discussed that we don't trade on the fundamental news, but there was fundamental news this week, which pushed the US 500 over the boundaries. The thing with the US 500 is, let's see what it does today on the Friday and how it closes, but it has pushed through the resistance and it looks like it wants to continue on its long trajectory. The problem with the US 500 that you'll have next week and this week and for the last week is that it's at all-time highs. It's extremely overbought, and can it continue on further and how high can it go? Well, there is no limitations, and everyone is surprised that it's at this level in the first place. So I wonder, will it reach 6,000? Well, we'll see. It probably will reach it, but will it reach it before the end of the year? We don't know. We'll have a look. But at the moment, everyone is pretty bullish because there was a 50 basis point interest rate cut, with a fancy way of saying 0.5%. When you look at this, there's a good chance that it's going to continue on long. And then obviously the same applies to the NASDAQ and the same applies to the Dow Jones because it's in the same market. So you can see the Dow Jones is flying on its upward trajectory and going quite well. It's breaking out of the trend and heading in the long direction. That said, it could still correct a little bit. And I think it might start giving up next week because I can see that although they've dropped the interest rates, maybe people will start to wind their heads around it. The dust will start to settle and people will start to see that the economy still hasn't repaired itself 100% in the world or in the US. The DAX, I was looking at it going short, but it went long. It broke through the resistance as well. So at the moment, risky shorts, wait for long. A long trade is probably the preferred trade. At the moment, it's in structure and it's going on the upside. The VIX, guys, like I always tell you, wait for the 15 if you can, and then just buy the hell of it out of it. But if you want to nibble right now, not a bad idea to nibble into the VIX and start looking at getting long trades in because the volatility is about to come. I can feel it in my bones, man. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. The France 40, I don't care how long the markets are or what the structure is here. The structure is not broken yet. It's in a downtrend. The France 40 is still short. The Nikkei has been doing its recovery thing. It's in an upward trajectory and the structure is to the upside at the moment on the 4-hour chart. Well, this is the day chart. Sorry, why are we looking at the day charts when we should be looking at the 4-hour charts? Doesn't really matter. Still looking at structure as such over the period of a week next week. But if I look at the Nikkei heading up towards the resistance, probably get another short trade at this 38.5 level. So keep an eye out for that nice short trade coming out there next week. I just want to go back to the FTSE on the 4-hour chart, and I just want to see here. Yeah, she was in an upward run. Nice short. We took a short here yesterday and it actually has paid off. So that's marvelous. Move the stop loss down, see what happens. Okay, gold, like we said, we're waiting for a long trade, particularly in this little fair value gap trend resistance whole area thing, demand, the whole 9 yards is going on here. It's run away from us. It hasn't come back. That leaves us with a bit of a quandary because we did sell out of it on a stop loss and a trailing stop, and now we're not sitting in the trade and it's running off without us, which is not something we like to do. We like to run with the trades and make more out of our profits. But obviously when this started to retrace, it took out the trailing stop, leaving us out of the trade. And that's what happens in trading. Sometimes you just can't win them all. We would have liked to have got back into the trade, and I was waiting for this return. The first day I was waiting for it to get down here. The second day I was waiting for it to get down here. And now it's just not coming back. But I'll still wait. My opinion now is we'll just wait for it to get down a little bit further down here. And maybe we'll get lucky with that. Right, let's just see. Let's put the arrow there. So most likely it's going to have to be around 25.70 when we get in again. It is a bit high. It is a bit of a nasty trade now. And you kind of look at it and thinking, maybe I should just wait for it to get all the way down to here before I get into the trade. So we'll walk away from gold for now and we'll say, okay, let's not chase it. We'll let the trade come to us. Euro US dollar, we're definitely looking at a short, even though it's in this pattern, it's in this bullish pattern, it's in structure and it's going up, it's in the resistance. If it breaks through here, well, then it's going to the moon. Probably won't, and it'll probably start coming down and we'll get a sell trade out of the euro US dollar. Bitcoin is not my favorite trade, as you know. It's not something I normally trade. And I expected it'll start breaking and going down to the 45,000. That hasn't happened. But if you are trading Bitcoin, just be careful of a double top developing here. If it does develop, you could be sitting with a nasty fall. So just watch out for that. But it's not for me to call Bitcoin. It's not my favorite trade. It is bullish at the moment. The bullish structure is there, and it does look like it wants to go to the moon. If it breaks through that resistance at the top here, then you're looking good. But if it doesn't, just be careful of a fall because there's a lot of space for it to come back down to. So keep your eyes open for that one. US 500 definitely still looking bullish for the time being. We'll see what happens with that. So now you've seen all the trades. You've seen what the trades are all about. Shall we talk about how you can protect yourself when you're trying to trade and manage your risk? Well, here's an important factor to take note of. Understand when the news events are really big in the world. Understand when the news events are going to make a big difference. Most people will tell you what these news events are. Generally, when they're cutting interest rates for the first time in a really long time, or adding interest rates for the first time in a really long time, those are big news events. When there's a war breaking out, big news event, or when a bank goes down and goes bankrupt, that's also quite a pretty big news event. But this type of news event can affect your trading immensely. Now, for a lot of you out there that are day traders, a lot of you are trading on 5-minute time frames. And if you're on a 5-minute time frame and you get a news event like this, I'm guaranteeing you're not going to be able to stay in that trade. And what a lot of traders will do, unfortunately, is they'll start chasing the trade. So, for example, when the news event comes out and the Fed Oak starts talking and he stands up and he's giving his speech, the price will say run all the way to the top, big long spike, you'll stop loss and get out of the trade. And then the trade will start going down quite fast and you'll revenge trade, you'll get back into the trade and it'll go down and you'll think, oh, I'm back in here. And then it'll go back and take you out again. That's what happens generally. So the best thing that you can do when there's a news event like this is stay out of the trades. Now, if you're in trades and you've got a lot of trades running or 1 or 2 trades running or whatever the situation, and if you're like me and you trade on the slightly higher time frames like the 4-hour, then you have the opportunity to do the following. And that is move your stop losses to break even so that in the event that it does spike, you don't lose any money. Or move your stop losses into profit if you're in profit so that if it does spike, you don't lose anything. And then also, if you're in a loss, make a calculated decision as to whether you want to keep those trades or whether you want to lose those trades. Now, what a lot of guys will do is maybe take the stop loss out the way, take the automated stop losses out and just run with the with the drawdown. If you're a funded trader, that might be a problem for you because it might take your account out because you've got a limited amount of drawdown that you're allowed to achieve on any given day. If you're not, if you're using your own dosh, just make sure you've got enough cover in the account to cover those spikes up and down. Look, normally the dust will settle after these news events and it'll come back into the sort of norm. But I have seen news events where prices have just shot off to one side. That can be quite a tricky problem if you take your stop losses out. What some people will do is they'll trade out of their trades before the news event and then trade back into their trades when the dust settles. That is also a possibility that you can think about. But the big basis of the matter here is try not to be sitting in trades when you're hitting one of these events, because the volatility can be quite hectic and it can hurt your trading at the end of the day. But that's a little bit of bad advice, and I don't give advice. It's just an idea, and it's just what I'm trying to help you with, try to make you understand, because trading is a 50-50 game. The market does two things. It either goes up or it goes down. There's nothing else that it does. And no matter what your system is or how good your system is, there's a good possibility that when you take a trade, you could win. And there's a good possibility that when you take a trade, you could lose. It's a bit like a coin flip. That is just the nature of the market. The edge that you have, or the system that you have, just gives you the psychology, the mindset to be able to manage your risk. Because trading is not about a system. It's not about charts. It's not about little candles and things like that. It's about how you approach it. It's about your mindset and how you make a profit. And the way to make a profit is very simple. And that is to take small losses and make bigger wins. It's not to make more wins than losses, because you're probably going to follow losses down to the bottom and make huge losses and then make tiny little wins, because that's how the psychology works. For example, if you go into a profit and you've got a small profit, the psychology tells you to quickly jump in and take the profit. But if you're making a loss, the psychology tells you to add to your loss and try and hedge it down, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where you've lost so much money that there just is a breaking point. You can't hold on to it any longer. No matter how much you thought you could hold on to that trade, you know what? You generally find out that you can't, that it is too big for you and the loss is too huge. So what you've got to do is understand that when you're placing your trades, when you work your trades, have a fixed stop loss amount, have a fixed invalidation amount of money. In other words, before you take the trade, when you want to size your trade, work out how much money you're prepared to lose on each individual trade. It might be 1% of your account. So if you've got a $25,000 account, your risk will be $250 per trade. That's it. Don't change it. Don't change that. So every single trade you pay $250 for. If you lose that $250, that's a losing trade. And then for every trade, you work out where you can put, because you want to put your stop loss in a specific area. So you work out where you want to put your stop loss. Then you work out how much $250 is on that stop loss, and that's the size of your trade. All you want to do then is make sure that your take profit will at least make you around $400 or $500, because then you're making more on the win than you are on the loss. And that's what you're looking for at the end of the day, is a decent sized profit with a smaller loss, let's say. So that's what we're working towards. That way, when you take 10 trades, you lose 5 of them, you win 5 of them, you actually make a profit at the end of the day. That's the basis of trading. The basis of trading is also don't change your stop loss. So for example, if you've got a favorite that you trade on, let's say it's the US 500, and then you've got a trade or a bunch of other trades that you don't like, let's say the DAX or the Euro US dollar or something to that effect, and then on those ones, you struggle, so you take the $250 stop loss. But when you trade the US 500, you're like, oh, I'll just put $1,000 stop loss on there. You know what? You're going to lose the trade on the US 500. You're going to win all the other trades, but then you're going to take a huge loss on that one trade. You're not going to make a profit. So the point is psychology. It's all in the mind. It's how you approach your trading that makes you a profit at the end of the day. Hey guys, go and get your free Forex book. It is down in the description. It's there for you. It's a PDF. It's totally free. Go and enjoy it. It's just a bit of fun for you to read, and it'll help you with trends and things like that. Also, don't forget, I put out the trade of the day every day. Trade of the day, it's not trading advice, it's just an idea, so that you can see if it matches what you're doing, if it makes sense to you with your trading. And also, on top of which, I have the members area in YouTube that you can join for the extra perks. For example, the extra trade of the day video every day, as well as the list of trades of what I feel the markets might do on that particular day. So with that, guys, I hope you will come back and you will watch Monday's video as well, which will show you all about the wonderful moving average system, which will be quite useful to you. But you know we don't trade with indicators. I just thought I'd show you how that system works as well, just for interest's sake, and it might be useful to you one way or the other. Don't forget, we've got live shows again next week as well, Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday's the Euro session, Thursday the USA session. Guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch the last videos. Come back soon. Cheers. Ciao. Bye.